Sorry for the delay. I just got home like 2 minutes ago, so I'm frantically trying to be sure I have everything ready. So let me get my laptop fired up so I can copy this over to my page. Yeah, my son texted me this afternoon to see if we wanted to come over and have dinner. So we're like, sure. And I said, I need to be back by 7:30. He's like, yeah, you should be able to make that. And then it was like 7 o'clock and we had just started to eat. And I'm like, yeah, we're not going to make that. So that's why I pushed it back to 8. And we just barely made that. But we are here. And we're going to make this card using a brand new bundle that's available today. Hang on, I'm just getting my laptop, getting that set. So I can share this over to my page. And then we will get started. So if you are new to Facebook Live, almost every Wednesday, I share a live video and then I give away the card we make the next week. Now, I did not have time to figure out who won last week's card, which was this one. So I'll figure that out after the video and post it on Facebook, who won that one. But tonight we're making this, and this is, let me grab all my stuff here. This is a new bundle. It's a new online exclusive, so you'll only see it online. It won't be in a catalog. It's called Changing Leaves. So this is the stamp set, and it's one of those hybrid embossing folders. So it has a die like that. Let me grab the embossing folder too so you can see. We're going to use these tonight. So the die fits. If you've not ever seen one of these are really cool. So you just kind of lay the die over the embossing folder and it'll kind of sit in there. So you'll feel it kind of sit in there, and then you put your paper in there and run it through, and it will emboss and cut them out at the same time. And I'll show you how that works. And then the other dies, some nice label dies for your sentiments, and then just some extra ones. And I love it when you have extra dies like that just to add into your stamped images. All right, so we're going to set all that aside because we are going to use that. But first, oh, I forgot to grab that leaf. We're using all 3 leaves. Let me grab a block for that. Okay. Luckily, I had everything cut out already, so it's all ready. We just have to stamp and cut and put it together. All right, so this is a new color, a new basic color called Basic Beige, and we have a stamp pad that matches that. And so I just took this more solid, and let me grab, these are photopolymer stamps, and that means they don't have any cushion on them like the red rubber ones do. And so it helps, if you, especially if you have a solid stamp, to put it on your Stampin' Pierce mat. Just helps you get a better image. Let's do one more. There. All right, so we got that. While we have our Basic Beige out, I have a piece of Basic White. We're going to stamp this. It looks like a maple leaf to me. So we'll stamp it in Basic Beige. And then we're done with Basic Beige. And now we'll get Shy Shamrock, and that's one of our new in colors. And when it's a really big stamp like this, I like to turn it over and do it this way. It's just easier to me. We're going to stamp this on here. We just have to leave a little bit of space between them. We're going to die cut them, so it doesn't matter which direction they're facing. All right. And then we have, I already die cut one of the labels from the set. And this is a little note to brighten your day. So hopefully I can get it straight. There we go. All right, that is all of our stamping. So let's put this ink pad away before we make a mess. And now we need to die cut and emboss. So I'm going to kind of set this other stuff over here out of the way. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to pick this up just because it will keep the embossing, cut and emboss machine will slide all over if I don't. All right. So I'm going to, you're always so close when I do this. So let me raise you up a little bit. Whoops, handle's going the wrong way. Then maybe it won't, then you maybe be able to see what I'm doing. So before I do this, I'm going to cut these two apart. It will just make it easier to do our embossing. And I'm going to cut off that little extra corner because I never know which direction it's going to go in the... Okay, so now we have those two pieces. So let's grab our embossing folder and our die. And the you want the front of your cardstock to face Stampin' Up, the side that has Stampin' Up. So let's do this, put this back in here. All right, so it's set in there good. Grab my plates. Now when you're using these, you use the same plates you would if you were just doing the embossing folder. So the easiest way I found is I just kind of, then I turn it over and hold on to it because I don't want that die to move on me. So hopefully you can see, I just hold on to that until I have it. So that's lined up nicely. Squeeze it, don't let it slip on you. So you just have your base plate and that gray plate. So that's what you use normally with a 3D embossing folder. And it'll crack like that. That's okay. So now we have a nicely cut, and you probably can't see the embossing on this one. You'll be able to see it better on the next sleeve. And then you'll have some little extra pieces that you can just get rid of. All right, so same thing. Take our, we don't need that. Our die, put it back in here till it kind of sits in there. Grab this leaf. And again, oh, I can tell my stem's not anywhere close to being lined up. There we go. All right. Hold it. So I just try and keep a hold of it the whole time until I get it running through. And then run it through. And then this one you ought to be able to see the embossing on it better. Okay, we're done with this. Let's get it out of the way. And that one, I think you can see the embossing a little bit better on it. So it's really, really fun. All right, now we're ready to put all this together. I did forget to grab my ribbon, but it's right here. This is also a new online exclusive. It's this kind of frayed. It's frayed on the edges. Ribbon. Seems like it's kind of shadowed. So I just need enough to wrap around here. So let's see how much that is, because I didn't write it down. About 5.5 inches. All right, and then I like to just wrap it around, and I'm putting it, putting it towards the bottom. And then I just take some Scotch tape and tape it to the back. You could use your tear and tape, or you could put some Stampin' Seal underneath of that. I just use Scotch tape. Nobody's gonna see it. All right. All my little pieces out of the way. Oh, I can scoot you back down a little bit. All right. Ooh, what a mess I have on my desk over here now. And then this. Oh, I'm definitely going to run out tonight, I bet. I've been saying that for the last few videos I've done, but we are almost there. I don't know, we may not, because I may use liquid after this. All right, so I'm going to start with my big leaf, and I did use my liquid glue on this just because it's embossed. You can kind of see on the back maybe. With that white, it's kind of hard to see. So we'll put him on. Like this. And then I did die cut the 2 leaves. That's out of Summer Splash. This is Shy Shamrock Glimmer Paper. And then this is a white iridescent glimmer paper. They don't show up very well on camera, but they're very shimmery. Whoops. All right, so I kind of want to know where my sentiment's going to be. So let's take the sky. And I've told you this before, but when I'm doing leaves or things like this, I like to leave the ends of them not glued down so that they can just kind of stick up, and I don't know, I just like it that way. You can glue them all down. If you want to glue them all down, I would suggest using, if you want to glue the whole piece down, I would suggest using some adhesive sheets. Bad thing about this glue is then it gets all over my fingers. All right, this guy. Kind of glue there. And we'll put our sentiment on with dimensionals when we're done. And I'll cover up, I'm going to cover up the ends there. So one more leaf. Right there. And I'm just holding it for a minute. This green glue, you want to just hold it for a minute till it grabs hold. And we made it without having to change that again. All right. Now we need dimensionals. So I'm at the end of my sheet, but everything around the outside works just fine. So don't throw it away when you get to these outside bits. All right, I'm going to do that down here so it covers up those stems. And then the last thing, I forgot to grab them. These are just our regular iridescent pearls. And I thought, because I had this other glimmer stuff, that having iridescent ones would be good. And I put 5 on here, I think. So, big one there, a little one. Uh-oh, I lost that one. I'll grab another one. And one more little one. There. All right, and there we go. There is our card. So everybody that comments on the video here on Facebook will be in the drawing to win this card next week. Well, maybe next week. We are going to be going to Denver sometime next week to help move our youngest son back to Arkansas. We are so excited. Don't know exactly when we're leaving. So if I'm here Wednesday, I'll do a live. If I have time and I'm not here Wednesday, I'll do a pre-recorded. If not, then I will see you in 2 weeks. So it's just all kind of up in the air. They are just on their way back now from their honeymoon. They were in Italy. And so we've got to wait for them to get back in the States and kind of get settled before we know for sure what's going on next week. So I may or may not see you next week, but let me show you, if I can uncover them in all my mess over here, the other 2 cards that I made. So this was another green one, and this one what I ended up doing was stamping them 3 times in 3 different colors. So I have garden green, pretty peacock, and old olive. And then I just cut them out, and then I'm mixing and matching. So I'm going to have 3 cards out of this. You can also see, I think, the background. There you go. I just use the embossing folder on the background. This is soft seafoam. And then some pretty peacock ribbon, a couple of little gold pieces. Again, I love having little extra pieces like that. And then because it was leaves, I wanted to try a fall one. And let me grab, that's another online exclusive if I can get to it. It's been out for a little while. I just hadn't used it before, but it's this textured timber. And so I just stamped this on the background and then embossed it with the embossing folder. And then I just used fall colors, stamped it again there. This is another new ribbon. It's a very vanilla ribbon, and it's kind of fuzzy. And then on the, that's Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Early Espresso, and Crumb Cake. And on the little Cajun Craze leaves, I just stamped a little bit of that to give them some texture. And I could certainly add some gems to it. I just didn't. So those are the 3 cards that I've made so far with this set. And then this one that somebody will win next week. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be sure and let you know what the plans are for next week when I know what they are. But at the very least, I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.